desperate.
Whoa!
What? Hanabi pick in the MPL, sure.
Aldo,
Okay, I met up with Aldo. I spoke to him before the game. He said get ready for surprises, but what in the world is this? You have a lot of lockdown, but the Hanabi, I've been very vocal in saying that this hero is pretty damn useless. Maybe after the buffs, right? I haven't tried the new Hanabi, but what the heck? Arashi, Hanabi.
On paper, immobile, maybe a lot of damage in the late game, but that is so situational. And for RRQ, in their signature aggressive style, they have a Grok, they have a Farsa. They have so many ways to just shut down this Hanabi pick. So unless something very special happens during the macro, where Bigetron can outmaneuver and somehow allow that Hanabi to just scale, I don't understand how this is going to work out.
We'll see. I mean, Hanabi did get buffed because if given a shield, her skill 1 also gives her CC immunity. So maybe that's what they're going for with picking up the Hanabi. But the Hanabi works better with a hero that can give her that shield or someone that can give the Aegis. We don't see that happening. As of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going straight into the portal of game number 1 between RRQ Hoshi and Bigetron Alpha. And once again, looking back, how is this gonna work? Hanabi is such an immobile hero. She needs something like the Matilda to aid her in that mid lane.
Well, Marky's acting like a very good bully against the Claude right now. You can already see the bullying happen very early on. Marky has brought the Flicker as well, and he's dealing out this much damage onto the Claude, forcing a recall and a BMI reset for the Claude. As you can see, just Skylar needing to get more resources. He just uses the BMI, comes back to it.
And the thing is about the Hanabi, something also changed with her, right? You know how her shurikens can actually like bounce off each other? It now bounces onto the turret as well. So she's also going to be able to get a lot of that gold shield turret when she goes in for the attack, basic attacks on the minions.
Oh my god, Skylar, he's not winning in this trade at all. BTR Aldo, with its magic on Season 9 and Season 10, makes Onyx has the best or widest hero pool, and we're kind of seeing that style already for BTR Eterna.
We're seeing it live right now. And in the bottom side, that bouncing off the tower that you're talking about, Eterna, has shown to be so annoying for Sky to deal with. And maybe he just didn't respect the potential in the early game, but Lemon here, going against Beer, not doing that bad. But of course, Bigetron is known to try and abuse this.
Whoa, that's a very aggressive play by Veer, forcing the Flicker out already. That's going to be the cannon minion cleared out, still getting that XP, but Bigetron Alpha in that top side already losing out. Meanwhile, the winning lane for Bigetron Alpha in the bottom lane, still Marky just shoving constantly again. And with the Equinox, it's actually going to be really good for the Hanabi. No CC effects onto him. Meanwhile, the turtle side, and now Blast to be targeted by Key with the Flicker as well, on towards Albert there, who's going to be stunned up. That's a Petrify. That's all of the abilities popped in, but Clay finds a kill to Marky in the bottom lane. Albert finds the Appraiser's Wrath, and it's a double kill over to the baby alien. Key and Fear No Cure able to find one back on the board. Lemon gonna go in onto Key right now, who's gonna be forced back up. Fear No Cure with the onward, and the Earth Shatter not able to kill Lemon just yet as Clay has rotated back in towards that top side. Albert picks up the first turtle, and it's a disaster for Bigetron Alpha.
Mess with the Kings and you get put down. RRQ assert their dominance in that early game. And also getting the first blood all the way across the map. What a performance there. And I think the fact that they were unable to secure the kill on Albert fast enough allowed that turnaround to happen. And Bigetron got way too aggressive and they clumped in together way too much. As we take a look at the instant replay by the Samsung Galaxy A series. And look at that. 3 members all caught in by Lemon and Albert, and that Appraiser's Wrath is devastating, taking out 2 members, and Vin almost gets out. So as we talked about this earlier, the setup seems to be for Bigetron, but the execution, how they're able to just beat the odds, is very much in favor of RRQ.
Yeah, right now RRQ leading with a 1,800 gold lead, and the one thing that I want to mention about the gold lane is the situation is going to change as long as Skylar hits that level 4, he gets that Blazing Duet, and then he'll be able to charge onto Marky. And we'll see that being reflected very heavily as RRQ Hoshi, they are looking for a pickup here in the bottom lane.
That's the Higan Bana, and also the Dumuna Blast pop in. Finn going to be able to escape. 2 massive resources burnt out for Bigetron Alpha, and it's still RRQ holding the 2,000 gold lead, which is continually going to build. Remember, the Farsa with the pressure, is always going to be able to rotate with the wings by wings faster than the mid lane. Feather airstrike popped in. Marky able to get out of that one. Key as well, dashing out from the last Feather airstrike as Max rotates down below. But Veer no cure finds an onward and an earth shatter only onto Albert. That's the frontliner, very, very low. But Veer as well with the Appraiser's Wrath is going to fall with the help of Clay. RRQ picks another up down below.
Wow, these onwards are so aggressive, and early on the top side, we saw that it actually puts Lemon in a good spot to actually punish the aggression, and now we're seeing it again. With so many front lines, there's only so many heroes that onward can target effectively and beneficially for the side of Bigetron. Take a look at the emblems so far, there's no real big difference that's crazy. But the amount of averages on the side of RRQ means that they are going to try and get to those power spikes way earlier. And I think we're seeing the impact of that right now as they go for the turtle.
Yeah, everything's going to clash in that mid game, right? When all those heroes are going to be able to get that mid lane power spike, especially waiting on Claude, Skylar to come online. And even before that, we already see the dominance that RRQ Hoshi is showing and putting onto Bigetron Alpha. So what's going on? Why is this happening? Did Bigetron Alpha draft themselves with a losing early to mid game, or is the execution from RRQ just way too strong?
Okay. The Numenal Blast comes in onto Skylar there, but Wild Charge is able to cancel out a bit of the damage. Rough Waves and the Petrify onto Skylar, but he's still able to survive with 1 HP! Skylar again with the magical plays! Max gonna be caught here, taunted up, and the Appraiser's Wrath practically seals the deal for the Clay to pick up a killing spree.
Wow, I feel like that's just it, right? Bigetron Alpha are not having the right composition to try and match RRQ in the early game. Glue, Grok, Fredrin, and Farsa. These are all heroes with a lot of AoE, with a lot of scrapping potential, and RRQ are just pulling Bigetron Alpha into their tempo. If Bigetron Alpha wants to try and have a good chance, I guess they can try and use Max to try and secure these neutral objectives, but they have to try and let all these other members scale and get power spikes. Otherwise, later on, they won't be a significant threat in the backline of RRQ.
Lemon going a little bit aggressive here. Numenal Blast going to be charged in. That's going to be the rotation from Moreno as well, but the split gets channeled in time, and Lemon gets out.
I mean, look at, did you see that emote? Like, even under the ultimate coming in, he was confident enough to say, you know what, you can Numenal Blast me all you want. I'm still going to get out, and I'm still going to be able to push for my team. Meanwhile, you guys are distracted. Look at Skylar just munching in that top side, being able to get a turret and half the HP of the second tier turret. So RRQ Hoshi, they really are so active on the map, really playing the map to the utmost potential that they could.
Wow, if you want to support the teams like the members in the car right now, you can just grab, but look at that play. Alberto is way too tanky.
Man, once again, all alone, Albert can be shredded down. That's a decimate for BTR, picking up 1 kill on the board. They're finally here taking a kill. Lemon jumps into the slam, pass. Gonna be knocked up by the onward. Vin gonna be able to find the wild charge right now. Ski's gonna be able to channel them now. Flies onto 2, and that's the AoE damage. Skylar finds a trade back. That's gonna be a neutral objective for the side of Bigetron Alpha. Max finally taking one back for himself, but Skylar now with a very aggressive move is gonna be able to pop that Purify to step out with a BMI. Lemon still staying, gets knocked up by the Earth Shatter and gets taken down by the water from Moreno.
You can say that RRQ Hoshi, they're starting to get a little bit hasty in the team fights, right? Because they know in the late game, this Hanabi is going to have a huge advantage over their composition. And right now, almost 8 minutes in, you can already start to feel the damage that she has, realizing that she already has that corrosion side as well as a DHS.
She'll be able to do a lot of percentage HP damage with every basic attack onto RRQ, and that's a big deal if you have 3 very beefy members on your side. But that aside, you can see that for both mid laners, it's been pretty chill, and they don't have the lightning crunch just yet. So we haven't even seen the full brunt of the potential burst that both these members can have. Once that's available, you're gonna see a lot more aggression. But look at that!
Man, the Feather Airstrike almost taking Marky down. Literally, just 2 shots was all it took. And RRQ will have a little bit more pressure to say a lot of things with enemy jungle. Invading already, Vin opening up the map. Max, somehow, even though he was slain 2 times early on, is able to catch back up to level 11. Fear no cure is a bit behind though, even Skylar onward, gonna be able to catch Skylar, but the BMI grants him his safety. He's able to blink out.
To be honest, because of the low mobility that the Hanabi has, I mean, looking at that damage from the Feather Airstrike, and that was pre-Lightning Truncheon, right? So imagine now how much damage he has, and she doesn't even have the Holy Crystal or even any penetration items built yet. Marky needs to build that Athena shield, like ASAP, and that might give him a little bit of more durability, but Max, he has to be careful here.
That's the wild charge. Max gonna be able to fall there. No, Virno Cure actually flickers out just in time with the Earth Shatter, cancels Lemon Slam, pass. In the back line, Moreno trying to find something, but will be stunned up just a bit. Max putting some pressure down again for the rest of the team to back off, and Bigetron Alpha offended, but it's still RRQ with the more valuable resources still up. Clay, his mana's looking low though. He might have to recall here.
RRQ with a 2.5k gold lead, but Bigetron Alpha is matching them in these fights, in this aggression. If RRQ can't get a decisive pickoff, it's going to be very difficult for them to deal with the increasingly high DPS coming in from Bigetron, and on top of the big combo coming in from Key on the Numeron Blast, but he might just be in trouble right here.
Wild charge, everything, and the kitchen sink thrown at Key. And he's gonna fall here in the mid lane. Bottom side, River Bush. Bottom side, we do see a shove from the side of Marky, but now Virno Cure, he's all alone. He's trying to look for an opening. Pops the ultimate, dealing a little bit of damage to Lemon, but he has the split. Meanwhile, Max, again, that's gonna be Skylar jumping out to Marky. It's a solo kill for Skylar against the Hanabi. Max gonna be brought back to the team by Lemon on that split. Max still in the midst of it all. Moreno gonna be zoned away, so the airstrike comes down as well. Max with the Decimet. Max not able to survive. That's Albert who seals the deal, and it's a 2-4-0.
2-4-0 and a free Lord for RRQ Hoshi as they continue that mid-game dominance here. Going for the next objective in that bottom side, in the mid side as well, taking everything from Bigetron Alpha, and things are looking bleak. The problem is, right, Marky, they're relying so much on Marky, but he cannot withstand the damage from the Blazing Duet that, of course, Skylar can give. Marky just secured that item, but at this point, he needs so many more items. He needs that Wind of Nature, obviously, to survive a little bit longer in those team fights, and an Athena shield as well, because he's losing out on the range from the pressure that Clay has with the Feather Airstrike.
That's absolutely correct. For him right now, he wants to try and do damage because he is the only one of the only members that can actually deal with the 10k members. Veer on the Edith can try and do that as well, but mainly it's gonna be on the shoulders of Marky. But now he is pressured to try and deal damage to be relevant as a DPS source, also defensive items though. So it's a tough situation to be in, and RRQ is completely exploiting it. Now with the Lord, they're trying to make sure that they push all the ways together and get as many structures as possible. With their composition right here, the more turrets they have, the more chances they're gonna get to punish Bigetron Alpha and catch them completely off guard, and they're gonna try and make a play for the base target.
Nobody can catch Skylar, man. Moreno tries his best, but Skylar has the Purify. Now it's going to be Max who does the dive onto the back line. Oh, it's Key with the Numeron Blast onto two members. The AoE is massive with the knock-up as well. Marky deals a whole lot on the back as Albert's forced to run away. Clay still with the Purify, holding onto it. Will just pop the wings by wings. And just like that, Bigetron Alpha have found a way back in the game, but they're still 5,000 gold down.
I mean, they are going to be able to buy more time for their team, right? That was a beautiful wombo combo and execution and really good chemistry between the members from Bigetron Alpha. The Numeron Blast hit, the knockup came in from Moreno with the ultimate as well. The damage came through, and that's exactly how Bigetron Alpha need to play these team fights.
We're seeing a bit of a pattern here. If Moreno is able to actually land a very massive Breath of the Ocean, that seems to be what Bigetron Alpha needs to try and turn the tides around. The crowd control on top of that damage is what Bigetron Alpha needs. But RRQ are notorious for adapting and not falling for the same trick twice. So now you can bet that they're going to be looking for Key as much as possible. The last thing they would want to do is try and fall to that same trap, the Numeron Blast, into the follow-up coming in from the Kadita. So I think the pressure is now in the shoulders of Vin. On the Grok, he's been able to use that crowd control immunity to such high value. But now in the late game, it's not only about the crowd control. The damage is very real, so Vin needs to be more careful with his positioning as well.
I'm wondering, the later this game goes, technically, Bigetron Alpha, they have 3 sources of damage, right? Virno Cure, Edith is gonna deal percent HP damage. So if RRQ Hoshi go for a lot of HP in their composition, automatically Edith is gonna deal a lot of damage as well, a lot of magic damage.
Yep, and for RRQ, so the only advantage they have right now is that range on Clay. We can effectively zone out Marky and Marino. They have a chance right here, but look at this macro attempt being made by RRQ, just pressuring all over the map.
Athena popped in already. That's going to be Lord Contest forced in. Fear no Cure. Looking for the knockup, gets Clay. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Max is going to be slain here, most probably with a DPS coming from Skylar, but that's going to be Key, who pops the Numenal Blast in. They find Skylar, but there's no one else. Flip onto the back. Lemon will be chain CC'd and taken down, but the Lord has been slain already. RRQ still holding on to the gold lead, and Finn is going to be able to find the wild charge! The taunt as well! Marky still with nature, dealing free hitting in the back, but will not be able to survive. Clay finds the kill with the range. Fear no Cure, the secondary damage dealer here. And when it comes to DPS, Magic, Bigetron Alpha still able to find a 2-for-2, but they lose out in the trade because the Lord was taken already.
Man, that was a huge... What is going on, Arashi, with the gold in particular?
The gold is razor thin, it looks like, from here. Of course, RRQ is still ahead, but Clay just got shut down, so Bigetron Alpha has a bit more gold to work with, but without Marky, this Lord will be able to take down that base tower, and RRQ are looking for more.
Look at Skylar and Marky, the gold difference is way too massive. Marky hasn't hit his item power spikes that he needs. 6 items is what he needs. Wild Charge when he pops in. Key as well with the Numenal Blast. No flicker, he does! He finds Skylar! And just like that, El Momento does not disappoint. He finds another moment where now Skylar has been shut down.
Key. He's buying so much time for that adjustment for Marky, right? You mentioned with the goal difference that Marky needs a little bit more time, and that time is being bought by Key. He is always that person to be able to counter-engage the setups coming in from RRQ Hoshi, and so far, it's been massive for them.
This is the danger when you are trying to crack open the base against Bigetron. They know what they can take advantage of. He was looking for that Clay, but so was Marino, roaming around behind the lines of RRQ Hoshi. It's a lot of threat here, and the same thing might just happen again. Bigetron are notorious for being able to find opportunities like this, but Vin is looking for the exact same thing.
Vin going to be spotted. Power of Nature, anti-CC, Wild Charge, knocking 3 up, just used as a defensive. Both teams disengaging, again, setting up once more. 16 minutes in, RRQ had a 7,000, I think almost 7,000 gold lead at a certain point, but they're still not able to end.
They just don't have the right kind of pressure, the kind of resources right now. They need to maintain the gold lead and keep Bigetron Alpha down until they can get maybe a Lord, some extra tools that they can get on the map to try and crack open this base. The first turret in the mid lane has been taken, but they are going to need a lot more than that. And they just have to use this range and be very aware of Key, and they have to start timing his flicker, man. It's just way too dangerous. And Skylar in particular, if he does not have the Purify, he needs to just stay really, really back, because RRQ still has the option of re-engaging with the Blazing Duet. We saw that it worked really well against Marky in one of the previous team fights. If he comes in and Marky is unprepared for it, that might just be the opportunity that RRQ needs. And they have switched up their playstyles like that before.
Definitely. But at this point, I'm actually curious to see Marky's items, right? Definitely the WN should already be built in, and with that, it eliminates that disadvantage that Marky has on the Hanabi against that Blazing Duet. And right now, we're gonna start to respect Marky's damage. Remember, it ricochets. We are in the 17th minute of the game, so that power spike is definitely starting to hit, as RRQ Hoshi already half health on the next Lord.
They don't have enough of an opening here. He actually is going to have his Immortality pop. Guardian's Bulwark popped in as well. Albert already rotating down for the airstrike, going to be able to zone Marky away as Lemon pops in split onto the back lines. Key still able to disengage. The Earth Shatter as well to help Max out with the split once again is able to find Key on the back line. Max is going to fall. That's 2 members down. Moreno finds a massive Petrify, but the Purify's ready there. The wall is perfectly timed, and Bigetron Alpha, this might be their demise. RRQ with no minions. Do they decide to push in that top side or go for the Lord?
They need to end this as soon as possible, like either way, right? Right now is a really great example, but right now Lemon gonna get really hit low, gonna get taken down.
There you go, that's the kill with the flicker. Fear no Cure finds a 4-man Earth Shatter, but no one's there to follow it up. The minions come in, and it's an open base for RRQ to take 1-0 in match 2.
RRQ now leading the series of a best of 3 here in match number 2. Wow.